So this vid is pretty much me talking about some ideas or some things I would like to see in the third Wolverine movie. Now, yes, we are getting... Hugh Jackman has confirmed there's going to be a third and more than likely final Wolverine film that he will be starring in. Now, a lot of people... Now, and this is just more or less my ideas. Nothing confirmed, and if you have a different idea, that's totally fine. In fact, I really want to know what ideas you'd like and things you'd like to see in the final Wolverine, in the possibly final Wolverine movie. I'm trying not to laugh as I say that, because we know this is not going to be the last Wolverine movie, or the last time we see Wolverine on big screen. Maybe the last time we see Hugh Jackman, because he is very fickle about leaving the role of Wolverine or not. So, anyway, with, let's talk about this. So, more or less, I know a lot of people have talked about, you know, oh, they should do Old Man Logan, they should do Old Man Logan. Here's the problem with doing Old Man Logan. More than half the characters in that story arc aren't owned by Fox. And you could say, and, you know, you could make the argument, hey, but, you know, Logan, you could use all the X-Men characters in that story. You can't, because Wolverine killed them all when he was tricked by Mysterio. So I don't really think you can do Old Man Logan or a version of Old Man Logan, because that's the thing. It was mostly a Marvel. It was Wolverine in a Marvel universe that was pretty fucked over. So that's kind of the thing, is that it's. I would like to see that. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see Old Man Logan done done as a live-action film. The problem is that you can't really do that. You can't have, you know, a symbiote T-Rex. You can't have, you know, the Red Skull thing. You can't have a lot of things in these stories. So that's kind of the sad part. Now, a few things I would like to see is maybe not so much a adaptation of a story arc, but maybe something original. Maybe something a bit more. Now, we've seen Wolverine in, you know, Japan. We've seen him back at Weapon X. There's one place in the X-Men universe, or at least Wolverine's place in the X-Men universe, that I've always wanted to see him go in one of the movies. I'd like to have an entire story done in Madripoor, which most of you guys would know is the city that Wolverine lives in. It's kind of like if you ever watch Black Lagoon, the anime. It's kind of like their equivalent to Roanapur. It's Marvel's equivalent to Roanapur. So that's the best way you could say it. So I'd like to see a Wolverine story done in Madripoor. I think that would be really cool, of Wolverine, you know, more or less trying to get his life back together and away from the X-Men, and he's found his way to Madripoor, and he's going on. You could have him, you know, be under the identity of Patch. Back in the Chris Claremont comics, when he had that, he was just wearing that eye patch and not wearing the costume, and being kind of like a vigilante. He was like a detective slash vigilante. See what I did there? But yeah, I think that would be cool to see, you know, stuff done in Madripoor, or at least some stuff done in Madripoor. I just want to see Wolverine in Madripoor. That's kind of the gist of the things. Now, in terms of other stories you could do, I'd like to see maybe you could do a story of Wolverine wanting to finish off Weapon X. Maybe you could have it that Wolverine is like, you know what, I'm tired of this, you know, Weapon X ruined my life. It ruined so many other people's lives. So I'm just gonna go out and, you know, take them down. I'm gonna bring them down no matter what I can do. You know, I'm gonna try my best to see if I can bring them down. This way, you could bring in the other characters like Garrison Kane. You could bring in Deadpool back. I mean, they're pretty much doing the Deadpool movie, so it'd be interesting. I think it'd be cool to connect the universe and maybe have Wolverine either fight Deadpool or he teams up with Deadpool to bring down the Weapon X facility. Maybe you could have, yeah, the Weapon X facility is come back, it's under a new group, and Wolverine's like, no, I'm gonna stop them before they do this, and I'm gonna get some help. So you could have Wolverine in here trying to do this and maybe team up or fight Deadpool. You could have Garrison Kane. You could have so many other characters. Hell, you could technically have, maybe you could say, like, maybe Omega Red. They did that. I know Omega Red was under the Russian version of Weapon X. It was like he was meant to be the Russian super soldier. But in the movie universe, you could twist it a bit and say that, yeah, he's another, Weapon X did some stuff during the Cold War, and they were secretly working alongside the Russians before, you know, Stryker came in and took over everything, and you could say that, hey, yeah, we took this Russian soldier who went AWOL and made him into a killing machine. So yeah, I would like to see Omega Red in a movie. Yeah, you could have Omega Red as the big the villain that Wolverine has to fight to get his way through. Weapon X, yeah, the Weapon X heads. So you could have, yeah, Weapon X heads. That's a band name, I'm sure. So what other characters you could bring in here? You could bring in Wild Child, you could bring in Earthworm. There's so many characters in the Weapon X comics that the Weapon X story that you could do that haven't really been done yet. You could even bring in Fathom X. You could have Fathom X team up in here and have him, allied with Wolverine or against Wolverine. That's always a plus. I think there's a lot of potential right there. And then when you bring in Fathom X, then you have the potential to do a X-Force movie and with another character. This would be, if you're going to do something with Wolverine going back to Weapon X, and again, it's stuff that we've seen before, but what I'd like to spin in is that Wolverine's trying to stop Weapon X once and for all. That's what I'd like to see. And if you're going to do this, yeah, definitely bring in X-23. I would love to see X-23 done on the big screen. I think that would be really cool to see Weapon X done. X-23, excuse me, X-23. So many X's, I get confused. So, X-23, I think it would be cool to finally see her on the big screen and fighting alongside Wolverine. And then, again, you have the potential of doing an X-Force movie, or maybe a Young X-Men movie, or Young X-Men TV show. I think that X-Men, you could do an X-Men TV show with the right characters, and that would be pretty cool. So, you could have it that Wolverine finds this girl, and they've taken his DNA to make an army of Wolverine-like clones. And one of their top agents is pretty much, well, X-23, and and Logan is trying to save her from becoming the monster that Weapon X made him. So that would be the big underlying thing of that. She's technically Wolverine's daughter, so he's trying to save X-23 from becoming the thing he is. Also, another thing, and maybe it's just my inner fanboy, but can we finally get Logan in costume? Can we finally get Hugh Jackman? Hugh Jackman's talked about wanting to wear the costume, so for this movie, just get him in the yellow and blue spandex, pop the claws, and just go apeshit. You can even have it that it wasn't. You can even have Weapon X in not so much Canada. You could have it take Wolverine to the Savage Land. I think that would be really cool to have Wolverine in the Savage Land fighting dinosaurs and maybe encounter Kazar. Although I don't really know where exactly. I don't really know exactly where the rights to the Savage Land go. Do they go to X-Men or do they go to Marvel? I really don't know where exactly the rights go for such things. But I think it would be cool to see Wolverine trumping around in the Savage Land, fighting a T-Rex and going through like Omega Red, like I said earlier, and things like that. I think that would be really cool. But yeah, among other things, I think it would be fine if they just did something with Madripoor. You could bring in Bloodsport and Roughhouse, those two villains, and Wolverine meeting one of his love interests, Tiger. You could even bring in Mr. X, another lesser-known Wolverine villain. If you did it in the Madripoor, it did it in a Madripoor story. I think that would be really cool. I think it would be nice to see an original story with little bits and pieces of other story arcs throughout Wolverine's life in here. I think that would be something you could really pull out and do. At least to my how I would see it. That's how I kind of see it done in that way. So really, that's all that's really all I have. So that's really all the things I would like to see from the next Wolverine movie. I know we're getting another one. I don't know the exact date or anything, but yeah, you guys tell me, what would you guys like to see in a Wolverine movie? Do you guys want to see it set in Madripoor? Do you guys want to see Wolverine deal with Weapon X again? What characters do you want to see in it, like heroes and villains, or allies and enemies of Wolverine? Do you want to see in there? Do you want to see X-23? Do you guys want to see Omega Red? Or do you want to see, Daken? Do you guys want to see Wolverine's son Daken finally done in here? Or do you want to see, Because they've pretty much done all the other Wolverine villains. They've done Sabretooth, Silver Samurai, Lady Deathstrike. I think you could either do a big villain story with maybe even you could do some of the recent Jason Aaron stuff. You could do the Red Right Hand. Why didn't I think of that earlier? Yeah, I'd like to see like maybe the Red Right Hand, because Wolverine has done a lot of horrible shit in his life before, you know, he became an X-Man. He did some horrible things, and the Red Right Hand, more or less, is a group of people who have been wronged by Wolverine, and now they're trying to kill his ass. So you could do, and there was a great story arc where Wolverine was fighting all these young mutants, and it turned out after he killed them all, they were all his kids. They were all his bastard children. So wouldn't that? I think that would be really cool. So what would you guys like to see in the next Wolverine movie? Anyway, once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.